people and 62 million other Americans are listening to me right now because less than 3% of you people read books. Because less than 15% of you read newspapers. Because the only truth you know is what you get over this tube. Right now, there is an entire generation that never knew anything that didn't come out of this tube. This tube is the gospel, the ultimate revelation. This tube can make or break presidents, popes, prime ministers. This tube is the most awesome goddamn force in the whole godless world. And woe is us if it ever falls into the hands of the wrong people. And that's why woe is us.
Alright, shalom. Let's say double honors unto the elders of GMS. All praises to Yahweh Bar Shamil Shai, and shalom to you brothers out there. This sit down is on the word television. And basically television is made up of two words. Tele being from Greek origin, mean teleos, basically mean end goal, result, consumption, perfection. Perfection being the best word to describe it. And then it comes from vision, which comes from the Latin visionum, which basically means the act of seeing, sight, thing seen. So basically the vision is television. It's like a vision, a revelation, because in Revelations, John the Revelator had visions in the sky when he was on the Isle of Patmos. So it's the same principle, vision, revelation. And then basically that goes word for word. The television is actually the Urim and the Thummim, which is something we had 12 tribes of Israel, the Negroes, Hispanics, the Native Americans, according to the Bible and the prophecies in the Bible. That's what we had when we were back in our land, when we had the full government of Israel. I'm going to show you something on that. The word Awayim, Urim and the Thummim, is basically two words from the Lashwan Kodash. Awayim being the first one, meaning lights, because the yum at the end makes it plural basically. And then when you look at this word lights, it says lights metaphorically, revelation. So the word light basically means revelations. And what? From yum, perfection. So it's like the lights and perfection, the revelation and perfection. And then, like I said before, that's word for word the television. Television. Tele being what? Perfection. And vision being what? Sight, seeing, revelation. So it's word for word the same thing. But then what you'd notice as well is that we have the lights and perfection, then Esau has the perfection and lights. So it's like a play on, it's like the mirror image of what we have, but it's on the left hand side, if you get what I'm trying to get at. That's just a side note, that's not important like that. Okay, so the Urim and the Thummim, when we would have had it in Aaron would have had it when he first got it, would have been in this pouch right here inside of his priestly garment, and basically would have been kept behind there. Exodus 28 and 30, and thou shalt put in the breastplate of judgment, what I just showed you, the Urim and the Thummim, and they shall be upon Aaron's heart when he goeth in before the Lord. And Aaron shall bear the judgment of the children of Israel upon his heart, the Lord before the Lord continually. So it said that's what Urim and the Thummim was used for what? Judgment. Yeah. Numbers 27:21, and he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of the Urim. So again, the Urim and the Thummim was used for judgment. So crystal ball, what they call it today, the Urim and the Thummim was used for showing, foretelling judgment, for guiding the children of Israel. Okay, and he shall stand before Eleazar the priest, who shall ask counsel for him after the judgment of the Urim before the Lord. At his word shall they go out, and at his word they shall come in, both he and all the children of Israel with him, even all the congregation. So at the word of the Urim and the Thummim, they should know what to do. Okay, so and that's what Esau's television does, but he does it by way of predictive programming. basically self-fulfilling prophecy. He casts it. He basically outlines what's going to happen in the future, and the people do it. And here's a proof. This is a article from the North Star report on mass media brainwashing, which is brainwashing. MK Ultra is interchangeable with the word predictive programming. Okay, the fact is that mass media, especially through television, is a source not actively or critically attended to. So there's no one regulating. A researcher named Herbert Krugman, who later became the manager of public opinion research at General Electric, formerly one of the 6 major corporations that have ownership over media outlets over in America, decided to try to discover what goes on physiologically in the brain of a person watching TV. He elicited the cooperation of a 22-year-old secretary and taped a single electrode to the back of her head. The wire from the electrode connected to a computer. Flicking on the TV, Krugman began monitoring the brainwaves of the subject. What he found through repeated trials was that within about 30 seconds, the brainwaves switched from predominantly beta waves, indicating alert and conscious attention, to predominantly alpha waves, indicating unfocused, receptive lack of attention. The state of aimless fantasy and daydream below the threshold of consciousness. So that basically says when you watch TV, you basically fall into a deep sleep. Yeah, you're conscious. You tune out of it. You zone out basically. When Krugman's subject turned to reading through a magazine, beta waves reappeared, indicating that consciousness and alert attentiveness had replaced a daydreaming state. And so when you read, when the subject started to read, that's when they clicked back on and they were with it. They were engaged in what they were doing. What surprised Krugman, who had set out to test the effect of TV viewing on the mind, was how rapidly the alpha state emerged. Further research revealed that the brain's left hemisphere, which processes information logically and analytically, tunes out while the person's watching TV. This tuning out allows the right hemisphere of the brain, which processes information emotionally and non-critically, to function unimpeded. It appears, wrote Krugman, that the mode of response to television is more or less constant and very different from the response to print. That is, a basic electrical response of the brain is clearly related to the medium. Television is a communication medium that effortlessly transmits huge quantities of information not thought about at the time of exposure. So basically, while you zone out and you go into that alpha state of being in your mind, you also, according to this, it says that you basically everything's taken in non-judgmentally. So you don't judge it, you just take it in, just eat it up. So basically, this is why the guy got the job at GE, because obviously he done this research and they wanted to use him to their advantage. Asked him, yeah, so how are we gonna expose this this thing that happens when people watch TV and put advertising in there? So basically, it says television is a communication medium that effortlessly transmits huge quantities of information not thought about at the time of exposure. So that's why I just go straight into your brain with no thinking twice, man. Okay, as real life experience is increasingly replaced by the mediated experience, it becomes easy for politicians and market researchers of all sorts to rely on a base of meditated mass experience that can be invoked by appropriate triggers. The TV world becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. See, the mass mind takes shape. Its participants, acting according to the media-derived impulses and believing them to be their own personal volitions arising out of their own desires and needs. In such a situation, whoever controls the screen controls the future, the past, and the present. So basically, that TV is, like I said before, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Esau basically puts inside what he wants you to do while you're in that deep sleep, and then you go out and fulfill it. when you go out and you see what he wants you to do, like there'll be triggers, certain things that trigger that for you to engage that state of mind. And that all goes back to the scriptures, because Esau, he's trying to be the Most High. 2 Thessalonians 2:4, who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he as God sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself that he is God. So if he puts up these images of him being like the Heavenly Father and his Son, obviously within his mind he believes that. So that's why he acts this out, because this action all goes back to the Bible. Job 33:15, in a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumberings upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. That's all Esau's predictive programming right there, man. That's the same thing, precisely the same thing. When you're in that deep sleep watching TV, that alpha wave state of being, he's feeding you all that he wants you to do. Yeah, and he does that through Hollywood. Now Hollywood basically is a broadcasting system. It's witchcraft, basically, the broadcast tower. Yeah, from there is casting these spells upon the people. And the word Hollywood goes back to Holywood, Hollowwood, which was a Hollowwood of these ones that they made for the witches and the wizards. But also it goes back to holy wood. Yeah, because their holy woods were their groves, like this Bohemian Grove, where they committed sacrifices, blood sacrifices. They're doing their chanting ceremonies in their garments and everything. So that's where it all goes back to, man. Yeah, but it's a thing. If it's a self-fulfilling prophecy, then so like he don't even know that he's like, basically this TV thing is gonna be put out abruptly. Job 18:5. Yea, even the light, Salak, the light of the wicked shall be put out, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. The light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candles shall be put out with him. So what's that talking about? That's talking about his TV. His way of understanding his new world order is going to be put out and taken out, man. And it's evident because he shows it in his movies constantly. You got This Is the End. It's the end. You got fire blowing up in his face, man. That's the destruction that's coming. You got that was in This Is the End. It even shows you right there in the title. Man of Steel, explosion, the world's end, fire being a consistent theme, and it says prepare to get annihilated. Pacific Rim with Leviathan, the city on fire, World War Z with New York there at the top, Jerusalem on fire, and they're the two major places that are going to be put by fire. So that shows he's putting forth that self-fulfilling prophecy. He's putting that out there, man. So him doing that, so he's laid his own snare at his feet, man, by doing that. All these movies, man, and this movie right here, with Will Smith and Jaden Smith. Basically, you got this. They're the two Jades after 1,000 years. They go back to Earth, and it's back in its natural state, man. Like a Garden of Eden, man. So they know a little something, man. These people, that because the heads, the elites, basically control Hollywood, man. That's one of their arms out here, man. So now, like I said before, if he knows this, he's laying his own snare, man, because you got self-fulfilling prophecy. Job 18:10. The snare is laid for him in the ground, and a trap for him in the way. Terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. So he knows. That's why he shows in all his movies, man. The snare is laid before the ground. Terror, as he shows you in all the movies, man. His strength shall be hunger bitten, and the destruction shall be ready at his side. That's talking about World War III, when these bombs dropped down over America, man. That's what it's talking about. He shall devour the strength of his skin. The firstborn of death shall devour his strength. Yahweh. His confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and he shall bring to the king of terrors. was talking about Yahushua, man, because Yahushua is going to make his appearance on the world by way of the IFOs, the chariots of Israel, what the white man calls UFOs, and he's going to take this place out abruptly, man, by way of fire to cleanse the earth. So that right there was a quick lesson on television. Hope I edified the Akyam, you brothers out there. Yeah, so I'm gonna say all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, double honors unto the elders of GMS, and shalom to you brothers out there.
To see that perfect world in which there's no war or famine, oppression or brutality. One vast and ecumenical holding company for whom all men will work to serve a common profit, in which all men will hold a share of stock, all necessities provided, all anxieties tranquilized, all boredom amused. And I have chosen you, Mr. Beale, to preach this evangel.
Why me?
Because you're on television, dummy. 60 million people watch you every night of the week, Monday through Friday.
I have seen the face of God.
You just might be right, Mr. Beale.